Wu Wei, living in harmony with the flow of life. Imagine a life where you achieve more by doing less, where your actions flow effortlessly, naturally, without stress or force. This isn't some distant dream. It is the essence of Wu Wei, an ancient Taoist principle from Chinese philosophy. And today's video, Living Mindfully, invites you to explore the art of allowing things to unfold naturally, not by giving up, but by living wisely and in tune with the rhythm of the universe. Part 1. Discovering life through the art of letting go. Imagine a life where you achieve more by doing less, where your actions flow with ease, naturally and effortlessly, and pressure is no longer your constant companion. This isn't a far-off fantasy. It's the essence of Wu Wei, an ancient Taoist principle that teaches us how to live in harmony with nature without forcing or striving. In this first part of our journey, we'll dive into the core idea of Wu Wei, action without force. It's important not to mistake this for laziness or inaction. Wu Wei does not mean avoiding responsibility. Instead, it refers to the ability to act skillfully, gracefully, and with flexibility, freed from the grip of control or obsession with outcomes. Think of water. It doesn't try to break the rock, but over time, it wears down even the hardest stone. Water doesn't fight for a path. It flows around obstacles, adapting and moving with quiet strength. This is the spirit of Wu Wei. True power comes from softness, not from pressure, but from alignment. In today's modern world, we are often taught to believe that more effort, faster pace, and tighter control lead to success. But ironically, this very striving often leads to burnout, confusion, and disconnection from our deeper sense of peace. Wu Wei offers us another path, loosening our grip, letting go of the need to force results, and allowing life to move naturally like a river finding its way. Part 2. Wu Wei is not laziness. It's the wisdom of acting at the right time. One of the most common misunderstandings about Wu Wei is the belief that it means doing nothing or giving up. But when you look deeper, you'll see that Wu Wei is an art of living where action happens naturally, precisely, and without unnecessary effort. Imagine a dancer performing on stage. Their graceful, flowing movements don't come from tension or trying too hard. They come from harmony between the body, the mind, and the space around them. That's Wu Wei in action. When you move as if not moving, when you do without forcing, ancient wisdom teaches that a wise person knows when to act and when to pause. Not all effort leads to success. Sometimes, knowing when to stop, when to be still, and when to wait for the right moment is what truly brings results. In everyday life, we often rush into decisions, speak before our minds are clear, or take action without knowing what we truly want. But Wu Wei invites us to do things differently, to slow down, to observe, to breathe in, to let life unfold in its own time. Action in the spirit of Wu Wei doesn't come from anxiety or fear. It comes from clarity and calmness. When the mind is still, you don't need to push too hard because every decision becomes clearer, more aligned, and more effective. The beauty of Wu Wei is just that. It's not about making things happen. It's about creating the conditions for things to happen naturally, when the timing is right. Part 3. Letting go is not giving up. It's stepping into freedom. There's a truth we often avoid. The heaviest burdens in life don't come from others, they come from within. From clinging, from expectations, from the inability to release what no longer serves us. Wu Wei doesn't ask us to give up everything, it invites us to let go of what weighs us down, so we can live more lightly on the journey of life. We carry too much, relationships that have lost their sincerity, hopes that never became reality, even false identities we've created for ourselves. Holding on to these things doesn't make us stronger, it only adds confusion and heaviness to the soul. Letting go is not failure, it's maturity. When you learn to walk away from what harms you, it's not weakness, it's strength. It means you've grown enough to understand peace is more valuable than stubbornness. Wu Wei teaches that nature doesn't cling, leaves fall when it's time. Water overflows when full, clouds drift and disappear. Life moves on its own path without resistance, without delay. When you let go of what no longer fits, you don't lose, you make space for what's meant to arrive. A mind that's not attached is a mind that's free. When you stop trying to control outcomes, everything starts to move with more ease. Relationships become more genuine, not battles of right and wrong. Work becomes more fluid, not a burden of perfection. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to? What have you outgrown but refused to release? Learning to let go doesn't mean you're giving up, it means you're returning to the stillness and peace that's always been within you. Part 4. When effort disappears, strength arises from harmony. We're often taught that to achieve anything meaningful, we must push hard, strive constantly, and control every detail. But Wu Wei offers a different path, a softer, wiser approach where action doesn't come from stress, but from harmony with ourselves and our surroundings. Have you ever experienced a moment when everything just flowed? When you said the right thing at the right time, did the right thing without overthinking, and everything turned out well, almost as if you hadn't done anything at all? That is the spirit of Wu Wei effortless action. Wu Wei isn't passivity, it's a deep awareness, knowing when to act and when to step back. It's the ability to sense the flow of things and respond with flexibility, not force. Someone who lives by Wu Wei doesn't rush. They observe, listen, and wait for the right moment. Like a musician who doesn't force a sound, but lets the music flow from within. Like a gardener who doesn't rush the growth of a plant, but nurtures it patiently, letting nature take its course. In today's world, where speed and achievement are glorified, the idea of effortless action can seem counterintuitive. But that's exactly why Wu Wei is so valuable. It teaches us to pause amid the chaos and remember, not everything needs to be forced. Some things only bloom when we're patient enough to wait. And when we live this way, not forcing ourselves, not battling life, but simply doing the right thing at the right time, life becomes lighter, more effective, and far more magical than we ever imagined. Part 5. Letting go of control. Connecting through natural flow. We often believe that in order to maintain a relationship, we need to hold on tightly, do more, and constantly prove ourselves. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the more tense and distant the relationship becomes. Wu Wei teaches us a different way to connect, one that involves no force, no pretending, no over-expecting. It's about letting relationships unfold in their most natural form. When we stop trying to make someone love us, we finally create the space to love and be loved freely. True connection doesn't come from chasing. It comes from being fully present and honest. A meaningful conversation doesn't need to be scripted, it just needs real listening. A simple gesture of care doesn't have to be grand, just sincere and well-timed. Many relationships fall apart not because of a lack of love, but because of too much control and too many expectations. When we try to mold others into our ideal version of them, love loses its vitality. But when we accept others as they are, when we stop trying to fix them, space opens up for real connection to grow. Think of water. You can't hold it in your hand, but it can embrace an entire riverbed. The softness of letting go often creates a strength far more enduring than any effort to control. A strong relationship is one where both people can be fully themselves without fear, without roles. In the spirit of Wu Wei, to love is to give freedom. It's to trust in the natural rhythm of connection, to allow things to unfold as they are meant to without force, without clinging, without manipulation. And it is in that letting go we don't lose love, we finally touch the deepest and most lasting form of it. Underscore Part 6. The power of rest, balancing action and stillness. In a world where busyness is praised and rest is often mistaken for laziness, Wu Wei offers a refreshing perspective. Sometimes stopping is the most intelligent step forward. We're taught to always strive, always move forward. But trees don't bloom all year round. The ocean doesn't always roar. Even the heartbeat pauses between beats to regain strength. Life is not only about motion, it's also about the essential pauses in between. Wu Wei reminds us that rest is not procrastination. It is part of the natural rhythm of life. When we pause at the right time, we don't burn out midway. When we allow stillness, we see more clearly what truly matters. Have you ever felt so exhausted that you couldn't think straight? In those moments, you don't need advice, you need silence. When the mind is allowed to breathe, clarity finally has space to arise. Wu Wei does not deny action, but it calls for action that springs from inner calm, not anxiety or pressure. Sometimes doing nothing is the wisest form of doing. Just look at nature. The sun never rushes to rise. Leaves don't strain to change color. Everything happens when the time is right, no sooner, no later. Rest is for renewal. It creates room for something deeper to take shape. When you learn to honor rest, you begin to live more fully. No more racing, no more burnout, just presence. Working with focus, loving with fullness, listening to yourself in a rare, quiet way. Wu Wei doesn't ask you to stop forever. It simply reminds you you don't need to run endlessly, because sometimes taking one step back is how you leap further ahead. Underscore Part 7. The wisdom in stillness. Decisions born from inner peace. In a world where everyone is rushing to decide, to act, to grab hold of something, Wu Wei brings us back to a simple truth. The most accurate decisions often don't come from force, they come from stillness. We often fear missing out if we don't decide quickly, but it's this very urgency that leads to poor choices, temporary emotions, anxiety about the future, or fear of failure. They all cloud our inner clarity. Wu Wei teaches us, don't rush. When the mind becomes calm like a still lake, everything becomes more visible. There's no need to force a decision. It will emerge on its own like a sprout rising when the soil is moist and the sun is just right. Recall a moment in your life when you weren't overthinking, weren't trying to control, but simply allowed things to unfold. And something good came naturally. That wasn't luck. It was a kind of natural intelligence within you, finally awakened. When you're facing a decision, instead of pushing yourself for answers, breathe slowly, observe your feelings without judgment. Sometimes all it takes is one peaceful night of sleep, and by morning, you know exactly what to do. Wu Wei doesn't reject logic, it just cautions against letting logic rule from a place of fear. Some answers don't come from analysis, but from deep intuition, from your connection with the natural flow of life. When you are calm, you recognize what you truly need, not what others expect. You stop chasing comparisons, stop following superficial goals, and decisions made from that space, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a life path, lead to long-lasting peace. Conclusion. The art of effortless living. Wu Wei is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time with ease, clarity, and alignment. In a world obsessed with control, speed, and results, Wu Wei offers us an ancient wisdom that is surprisingly modern. You don't need to force life to make it meaningful. You only need to trust its rhythm, respond with awareness, and let go of what no longer serves you. Like water flowing around obstacles, like leaves falling without resistance, like silence revealing the deepest truths, Wu Wei invites us to return to a more natural way of being. A way where peace is not something to chase, but something we already carry within us. When you stop pushing, life begins to unfold. When you stop grasping, your hands are finally free to receive. So ask yourself, what if the key to more wasn't doing more but doing less? With more presence, let Wu Wei be your quiet teacher, a reminder that real power lies not in control, but in harmony, and perhaps in learning to let go, we finally learn to live.